Brought to you by Alman Auctions, the worldwide leader in antique tractor auctions.
Walk around a garden tractor show and you'll meet tons of friendly people, many of whom have a deep connection to the tractors they collect. That's the way it is for Greg Hellmuth of Pennsylvania, who made this little powerhouse the very first piece in his collection of Sears garden tractors.
It's a 68 Sears Custom 10XL with the 10-horse motor and that grill. It was a one-year combination. And that particular tractor, that model was the model that my father bought brand new after he sold our farm. And I spent a lot of time on that particular model of tractor, and so did he. It's a good tractor. It's made by Roper. The Roper era was roughly from 64 to almost 80, thereabouts. And that's what I deal with the tractors that I have, that era. And you know, there's a lot of commonality of parts and things like that. You know, certainly the John Deeres and the Cubs are very popular, very well-built tractors. The Sears are well-built too. They're very rugged for that time period, unlike today. The Sears were a little cheaper though, as you would expect. And I'm sure, even though my father had John Deeres on the farm, we had a Sears tractor, and I'm sure the cost was a factor when he chose a tractor. I really regret that I didn't get this tractor done before he passed away. He passed away about 5 years ago, and we finished it, or actually 6 years ago. And he didn't get to see it, or that I had gotten into the Sears tractors. He had Studebaker cars, and he went to a lot of car shows and things like that, but I had not gotten into the lawn and garden tractors yet at that point when he passed away. So I was probably thinking of him when I got into this one.
No doubt many tractors have been collected and restored because they're like the one Dad had. But to be clear, this Sears Custom is not the very same tractor Greg's dad bought all those years ago.
No, I could not find the original tractor. I went on a search for it, but could not come up with it, and it was long gone. So I got this one instead, and actually made 2 or 3 tractors into one with the pieces that I wanted, and made one nice tractor out of it. And of course, there's still some parts that are available through Sears. Some, you know, fasteners and some other things. Not a lot, but it's surprising how much is still available.
In 1968, the Sears Custom 10XL could be bought at the store or through the Sears catalog, and Greg and his dad liked the Sears Custom so well they competed for time behind the wheel of this versatile little machine. And although the Sears offered plenty of power,
that's a 10-horse Tecumseh flathead. Tecumsehs were widely used in Sears. Tecumsehs were by far the most popular amongst the Sears.
Greg says there was at least one design feature that was not so good.
What was not so good is the brakes it's a single band brake. And of course with the differential possibility in the rear end, I backed up to a very steep bank once, and one wheel stopped and the other wheel did not, and I went over the bank backwards. About a 15-foot bank into a ditch, snapped off both axles, and the steering wheel hit me in the chest when we landed on the ground upside down, and I broke my sternum, and my poor dear mother was standing in the kitchen washing dishes and saw in horror her son going over that bank backwards looking at the sky. So one of many times she saw me do something crazy.
Greg had a few adventures with his Sears Custom 10XL, and although he restored this one to look like new, he did add a few personal family touches to the tractor he treasures.
First of all, on the dashboard I have a memorial to my parents, Fred and Hildred Hellmuth, and also my granddaughter, Sammy, helped me restore this tractor. It was 5 years ago during the winter months, and I invited her to spend some time with me. I bought her own respirator for in the paint room, and what I did not buy for her, unfortunately, was a hat. And we had coveralls on her, and we had a respirator on her, but when we went in to paint the red, her blonde hair turned pink, and it didn't want to come out for several days. So she went to school with some pinkish blonde hair, and she wasn't real thrilled about that.
In all, Greg has 7 grandchildren, and he believes at least one of them might carry on the family garden tractor tradition. Until that day comes, he keeps growing his own Sears garden tractor collection.
I have 5 that I'll say are done, complete and showable. 3 of which are restored, 2 of which are original. And I was very lucky to find 2 very, very nice original tractors, and I kind of treasure them and keep them original. And then I have I think 4 other working tractors that I try to drive them for about a year and use them and make sure the training and the engine's fine. And if I don't have to rebuild an engine, I don't. And then after they're evaluated and checked out mechanically, then I might knock one apart for paint the following winter. With the internet now, there's people out there. For a while I thought I was the only one, but there's other people out there, and we have a small network. Certainly not as much as yellow and green tractors, but there is a following of Sears tractors, and there's quite a few of them out there. And anytime I might advertise to try to find something, I come along some treasure, or someone calls me, and I probably have too many, like everybody else, right? You know.
Maybe so, Greg, but I guess you're just proving what happens when a guy like you catches something called classic garden tractor fever. It is a fever, right?
It is. Honestly, I'm in my mid-60s now and retired, and I've got pretty nostalgic and for the things that I hold dear to my growing up years, which is primarily in the 60s. And I've got a lot of things that remind me of that time, and it's a lot of fun.